So for my ask, it was actually two parts. I am currently producing a film, one of the thesis students' films, and I needed a camera for a reshoot, and I didn't know what to do because didn't have any available cameras for the weekend that everybody else could reshoot, and then if we didn't do it that weekend, it was just going to be a whole thing. So I had remembered meeting someone. Sorry, the kitten is attacking me. I remembered meeting someone at church one time who had introduced me to his friend, and had their like intro was, "Oh, he has a red and you're in film school," and I was like, "Oh, that's great," and I never talked to this guy again. But when I realized I needed a camera, I asked this friend of mine, Jose Antonio, if he could reconnect me with his friend who had the red. So it ended up working out that I texted this guy. His name's Daniel Restrepo. He is an audio engineer at Sony, and he was like a lifesaver on the set of this film, Hallie, for another student. And he came through with the red. We had to pay him like hardly anything, even though he just shot a music video for Future. So he should have charged us like, what, $500,000? I don't know. Had all of his own equipment, everything. So that was interesting in and of itself because I felt really bad asking him to help us out, knowing that we had no budget. We couldn't pay him what he would deserve and what we really should. But it was a great lesson in kind of stepping out of... I don't want to keep saying like stepping out of my comfort zone because it's not like I'm afraid to do that, but it was good to just ask, and just if somebody says no, they say no, and that's the worst that can happen. And you have to have faith sometimes that, that people have bigger hearts than you think, and that they're more willing to be on your side. Like the fact that we were reshooting really got this guy Daniel on our side because he was, compassionate towards the fact, or not even compassionate, but impressed by the fact that we were so passionate ourselves about this project that we were willing to go through the hard work of reshooting. So all of that to say, that's how I met Daniel. And while I felt bad kind of asking him to go above and beyond for us on this project, he also knows a lot of people who work in production and who, have access to things that I could never imagine, and who do this stuff for a living. He works for Sony. So after connecting to him through someone else, I actually got a chance to talk to him a little bit on the set during our lunch break about my film in Greece. And so I, was talking to him about it, and he said that he knows a lot of local line producers. And so one of the things that I asked Daniel if he would be willing to do was connect me to someone who could help me on the production side. I'm like super overwhelmed with trying to write the script and, be a director for the film, and producing is just so hard, and there's so many things that have to get done. We have a budget, and we have, we don't have the budget, but we know what amount we have to work with, and I need someone to help me delegate that, in an efficient way. I need someone to help me with casting. I need someone who can really be my hands and feet, an extension of them anyway, on the ground here in Miami. And I don't have a lot of access to that because none of my classmates, for some reason, seem to have any interest in producing. I'm really the only one that has that kind of type A personality. So to have someone who can help me really keep myself organized, as organized as I am, I'm only human, and I'm also juggling a lot of things. So it's going to be really helpful, I think, to have help from somebody. So I sent him an email again this week just to kind of check in again, and I'm hoping that that will work out well, and that he'll know somebody and who can really help me on this side. The experience was weird. Again, I don't like asking for favors, and I think sometimes because I am so self-sufficient and independent in a lot of ways, it's weird to ask for help. But it's also really humbling and important to be able to recognize when you need help and when you can't juggle it all, and when you really have to step back and say, this is what I need. These are the people around me who can possibly help make it happen, and let's just go for it. And it's the same thing with him. You never know who is going to be willing to step out of their zone and their norm for you because they believe in you and your project. So it's all about just gaining confidence in what you're selling, and hopefully just trusting that, people are going to be on your side. It's not as cutthroat and mean of a world as I think it is. So that was my experience.